So our next thing we're doing for graphics, we've done the basics, how to draw, how to start a drawing package, but now we want to get into what we would do if we had a package to draw and create a game. There's multiple game engines available. Oh, I haven't looked at this one. Godot. Is that the right pronunciation? Some of these game engines is simply dragging around little shapes, making little games. But if you look at the main engines out there, there is one called Unreal Engine. That's a game platform that allows you to build with graphics, a lot of cool games, apply forces to them. I have played with Unreal Engine. It's not too bad. But another engine that's, I think it's a little easier to get started with, although Unreal Engine is also available. There's another one that I want to look at. It's called Unity. And I think the reason I came across Unity is I think they use it to build Fortnite. So if you go to unity.com, I think they want you to, let's try to get started. You can actually download a version, and I actually have installed a version on your computer. But you can go find that at the Unity site. Try Personal, and I think it will give you, it will give you a license. And I don't know if I've installed it on this PC. I will connect to the PC I have installed it on, because the install does take a little bit of time. But you do have it installed on your PC. So you should just be able to find Unity up in the Windows search bar, and I will go to my machine that has it already installed. It's one of the slightly faster machines in the back of the room. I think I got the number right. There we go. And I am connected to that machine right now, and I have actually started a little project. You're eventually going to be able to do this. What I have done here is, all I've done is create a sphere, and I'm playing it. I'm going to stop playing it. Here is what I have created in this little world. And you're going to learn how to navigate through this little world. First thing is figure out how in the world I zoom and pan. I'm going to start with a blank project in a second here. But what I've done here, I want to have this ball rolling and falling through the holes in this floor. To see it actually happen and animate, in Unity, all you do is click the play button. Let's see, I'm going to get my window to be the right size here. It's not quite sizing right. Maybe because my application is larger than the window. There we go. Let's give this the right size so you see the full user interface of Unity here. There we go. Give it the right size for you. So this is how you would view it on your desktop. If I actually want to see the my world played as though it would be animated, when I click the play button, what I get to see is the camera view. And see how the camera, see this little guy right up here? That's the camera. When I click play, I switch to camera view, and the ball, because I have established it as a graphic or a physical object, there I see the ball will fall to the plane that's defined by this object here. And it doesn't do anything that. It just falls from the air and falls onto that table. What I have done here, this table wasn't created in Unity. I created this table in SketchUp. So you can create your worlds in SketchUp or another 3D program. The middle button clicks and moves your view. The right button adjusts your camera angle. And the left button selects things that you can then adjust, such as this one. When I select the sphere, I can grab the little arrow and move it around. That's how far I've gotten. I will show you now how to get this far. It will initially start with just a plain floor, and then we'll show how easy it is to just import a asset from any CAD program. I love SketchUp, and this was real easy to make in SketchUp. So here we go. Fire up Unity. Yeah, you should have it on yours. I installed it. And I will close this project and start a whole new one. So I'm going to do File, New Project. And I'll call this, I'm going to save it. Oh yes, I'm on a system that just has the one drive. I'm going to call this Manning 2. Oh, that's right. Since you're a different user on that system, it will want to connect to your Unity. And it's free. You can go ahead and create a Unity ID while I am getting my project started here. Notice I am running it on a machine that's in the back row in the classroom. Slightly faster, and also not many people are back there using it, so I'm not getting in someone's way when I need to go connect to that machine. And I'm saving the changes I just made to my project. Unity is now starting a new project. And all we're going to do here is create, first of all, we'll just create a cube, and then see if we can get that cube to become the floor or the ground, and then we'll create a sphere that will fall down and roll across that floor. And there's YouTube videos out there for learning this. There's one guy, a little bit of a Russian accent, walks very quickly through, but it's very easy to stop and replay anything that he goes by very quickly. As you learn this, what you want to do is keep building a project from scratch. As you get more complex projects, then you can worry about starting with an existing project and building on it. I can adjust my scenes as I like. Getting a little bit slow response from that, but now it's started up. It seems a little bit faster. So I'm going to pause while you get logged in so you can follow. So I've started a new project, and this is my Unity desktop. This is my view of my world. The camera is in this location, in a set location. He's viewing the world, and I can go to Window, or is it View? I can view the camera window. Yeah, just go with 3D. Yeah, just go to the default settings there, and then create the project. I'm looking for where I can see my camera view. Oh, here. Is this it? Oh, here. That's where my camera is. There is to show me a camera preview of what the camera sees as I click on the camera. If I click here, notice it's showing me where my lighting is. I'm going to leave those alone most of the time. Yeah, that's right. And the first time it starts up, it might take a while for Unity to finally give you its desktop. I have the camera, what he sees. Notice this camera is here. All he sees is the horizon. If I adjust my camera, I can click on the hand here, and I can move my camera or move my world around. If I click here, that lets me move the camera. I won't see a difference if I move it here. The horizon won't change. But watch what happens if I move my camera up and down. My camera view horizon should change. I would expect it to change. Maybe there's not enough difference there in my world to see what's new in front of me. And I can rotate my camera here by clicking the little rotate icon there. And let's see if I grab that line there. and rotate. See, now I see my horizon changing because I'm causing my camera to rotate up and down. Just click on it in the left side there. Click that and that will select your camera, and you can adjust him. The upper right, or sorry, the upper left icons here allow you to scale, rectangle, or rotate. These are your controls, and there are keyboard shortcuts associated with them. You'd think that they would show them as you hover over them, but it goes with your QWERTY keys. Q, W, E, R, T, Y are these 5 little icons. That's the rotate one. And I can rotate my camera around. And as you have something selected, if it gets messed up, you can always go here in the control thing on the right. And I think if there's a reset, you can, so right click, there's a reset somewhere here. I can reset, oh maybe it's here. There, under right click on transform, I can always reset my camera to its original location if I ever mess it up. I can control Z as well if I've messed things up too. So control Z can get back to your original position of your camera. Control Z all the way back. It has a certain memory buffer. So that's just the camera and lighting. That's nothing special. We want to actually create objects in our world now. So come over here on the left side, and we can right click, create a 3D object. Let's create the left side here in the gray, in our sample scene in the gray entry. We want to create a 3D object, and let's make it a cube. Make a 3D cube. You got a cube. Now that cube is selected. If I hit F, the letter F will focus on the particular object being selected. So if, say I want to focus on the camera, I can click on the camera up there and click F. Oh, I thought I was expecting it to focus on my camera. Oh, but if I click on the cube here, I can do F and focus on my cube. If I want to move it, I can grab the little arrows, move it around. If I ever get so messed up that I'm not happy with it, I can always come up here on the transform of a cube and do a reset. It resets it to those X position 0, Y 0, Z 0. And if I right mouse, pan around, I'll see, oh, there's the 0 position in my world. So if I ever reset my X, Y, Z's by right-clicking transform reset, that puts my cube back to a original position. I believe that that corner is at 0, 0, 0 in my 3D world. Okay? And at some point, my camera, I believe it's looking in this direction. It sure looks like it's looking in my direction. And in my camera preview, I can see that, yes, my camera preview sees the block just on the horizon. Okay, so I can middle mouse button, move my perspective around. Notice I'm moving my drawing perspective, not my camera's perspective. And if you look closely, you'll see that the middle of the world is running right through the middle of my cube. Middle button, I can move over, right click, drag, and notice that that line right there, right through the middle. So my cube is a unit cube centered at 0, 0, 0, very much like the one we were drawing. I can always reset to my original layout. Middle button, move things around. Right button, zoom and pan. And I think, I haven't clicked on these. I think clicking on these also does something as well. Alright, we want to make some progress here though. We want to have a floor with a sphere dropping and landing on it. So, I go back. I can either select here by clicking on the cube here, or on the left side I can click on the cube there to select it. Now, I want to give it a particular position. Let's go ahead and give it a position. We'll stay with position 0, 0, 0. Let's give it 0 rotation, but let's scale the X up by maybe, let's try 10. Let's see what happens. Okay, X is scaled up by 10. And let's see the Y direction. If I change that to 20, Oh, that's the wrong direction. I want to leave Y scaling back at 1. Leave the Y scaling back to 1. And the Z scaling, that's what's coming to the right. Let's set the Z scale to 100. And I can roll my mouse to zoom out and see that I've made a long road and a right-click orbit around and zoom in and out, rolling the mouse in and out. If I want to actually move my road to my right, I'm going to zoom out a little bit and grab that, moving it out in the Z direction. You see, as I move it, my Z direction there is increasing as I pull that arrow to the right. So something like that. This will be a road that my little spheres are going to be rolling on as I learn to apply forces to them. I can zoom back in, selecting it, and now let's play now with the materials. I can make this road not a boring white road, but actually apply a material to it. That's done by adding a material to my assets stage down here. And I right-click down in my assets stage and add a create material. Right-click create material. And that creates a new material here. And let's call the material, let's name it like down in the name. I'm already there. Let's call it road. And for now, let's just learn how to color that material. Since it's selected, its properties are showing up in this, was what they call the inspector window. And if I click here, right here in this little white square, it pops up a color selector, and I'm going to choose the color of my road. You get to choose your color of your road. I'm going to see if I can get kind of a brownish road going. I kind of like that. I'm going to go with a, maybe a little lighter. Light brown road. And I can close this. See, in my selection of my color, my object immediately has that color. But I want that color to apply to this object. I have a material. I want to apply it, have that material, or have this cube, which is now stretched out to be a road, to have that material. All you do is click and drag the asset onto the object that you want to have that material applied to it. And now I have a road with that color. You can play around with these, but we'll leave it for now. You can adjust the metallicness of it. But for now, we'll just stick with that because we want to get a sphere going now. Okay, so I have a flat road for spheres to roll on. I created a cube and stretched it and applied material to it. Now it's time to create a sphere. Come over here, select in our sample scene, right-click, 3D object, and let's create a sphere. It puts it in a default location. That's a fine place. It's up above the road. If you want to move it, just grab the little arrows and you can move it around. And you can always come back to here on the transform. You can always reset it. Yeah, and mine got reset, and now it's right in the middle of the material. So I'm going to drag it up above it and somewhere over here. And I can right mouse, middle mouse, right mouse, middle mouse, and I can kind of get a view from sort of my camera view. I'm going to click on this guy. I'm going to move it to the left a little bit so my marble is kind of right on top of the road. Move my road too far. Move it back a little bit. There. Responds pretty rapidly. Okay, just like we did before, I'm going to zoom in here. Let's apply a material color to the sphere to just get a practice with that. If I wanted it to be the same color of the road, I could just drag the road color to the ball, but I want to have a different material. So I'm going to right-click down here and create a new material just so I can have a different color, and I'm going to call this the ball. And now apply a color to that ball. I'm going to choose a red. I'll make it a red ball. And close that. And then apply that by dragging the red ball material to the ball. Now it is a red ball. Now we've got a sphere. Let's see what happens if we play this animation now. If I click play, it's just floating up in the air. No gravity because it's not being treated as a physical object. So I need to make some changes to my sphere here so it actually behaves as though it had some real physics to it. Well, the idea here is I need to add some information to this sphere, and that's where we do add components. So if we click add component, I'm going to add some physics to it, and the physics I'm adding to it is rigid body. This ball is now going to be treated as a rigid body. And that's where physics come in. It applies a mass of 1, assert a 0 drag, so there's no friction, and some angular drag. We'll see about that. I think as it rolls, it will actually slow down rolling if I can get it to roll. To actually get it to move out in the world. Or what was the question? In the add component, down in the add component, I chose physics, and then from that physics selection, I chose rigid body. Once I clicked rigid body, then this rigid body component shows up, and it may be down below. If you can shrink them down, then you might see the rigid body show up as I shrink down these other bars. To open them, I just click on the arrow to expand them. You should see a rigid body have shown up when you did an add component. Remember, you have to have the ball selected or nothing happens. Did you get it to work? Okay. Now let's see what happens now when we click play. Again, we're going to go jump to our camera perspective, and let's see what happens to the ball. It lands on the cube. Because the cube has some physics already built in, if I click on the cube that we stretched, notice it does have a box collider automatically got associated with the cube. See these little check marks there? I can turn on and off the box collider and then play, and the ball will fall right through the cube because there's no longer a collider associated with that stretched out cube. That was my road. So turn off the play, turn back on the box collider, and now my sphere will fall down and land on the road, and I see my camera view. Now eventually we can cause our camera, we can set the settings of our camera actually to follow players around, and I could treat this as my player. But let's do a few other fun things first, just to see how this all can work. So I've created this road. Oh, and before I forget, I'm going to do a Control S to save where I am so far. I have something decent. I can always select items here or select them over here. Now, suppose I want to have multiple spheres. I can simply Control D to duplicate. Let's see if there's a right-click duplicate. Is there a right-click duplicate? Oh, the right-click does my orbiting here. If I right-click over here, is there a duplicate? Yeah, there's a right-click duplicate there. Maybe at some point there's a hidden table. I wish they would show the shortcut key. Control D is also a nice duplicate. Once I duplicate the sphere, I can't tell, except here I see two spheres there. But if I drag my arrow, I'll see that, oh, there's two spheres. They were occupying the same space. I can create that sphere, and then I can Control D again and move that sphere over. And I can pan over here and see where they are relative to one another. They're kind of next to each other. Pan around this way. Zoom out a little bit. And adjust their positions. Let's see what happens now that they're near each other when I click play. Let's see how they behave. They fall and hit each other. The one is just barely moving, but because there's no friction, I think he will eventually roll off the table. I don't know if that's enough friction in his rigid body to stop him from rolling, because there's just a tiny amount of angular drag. Oh, okay, so all you need to do is you can move your camera. Yeah, grab the camera and just move him back. Yeah, there you go. Grab that arrow. Yeah, there you go. Now you'll see in the preview what he's doing. What happens if you play it now? Oh, make sure you adjust the camera before you play. You can actually adjust things while you're playing. Now that's his position at the start. Now if you play, it should stay there. Yeah, you were adjusting. It will let you adjust things while you're playing, but then it doesn't save them.